Good motherfucking morning, guys. I'm back again with the Maryland fucking recap. The Maryland and Illinois game. This is gonna be the recap for the game. Outstanding football game, guys. In this day and age of Maryland football, it's been a long time since I got used to ugly wins. The good teams do this a lot. All right. These are the type of games we've lost to Illinois. We've lost to Indiana, teams like Northwestern over the years. They've beaten us like games like that. Games that we don't have everything going, but they just find a way to win. That's what good programs do. And this is the beginning of something special for Maryland because this is the type of wins you need when you're building something. You need close wins. You need wins on the road when you fuck up, where the other team got a second life because of your fuck ups. Those kind of games matter. This is the type of game would go a much longer way than the Howard game. A game like that, especially for our young team and for the many young guys who played yesterday. It was outstanding to see these guys stick together. I feel like what Locke said on the post game was absolutely correct. I can see it on the field. You can actually see the improvements in this team and roster and their body language from years past. In that fourth quarter, you saw the improvement, especially after that fumble that we caused, that they just locked into their hands and they took it to the house. After we caused the fumble, they picked it up and housed it and went up 17-10. Maryland teams for the past 6-7 years, that was the ball game. That play right there, the game ended right there. They will not show any more effort the rest of the game on all sides of the ball after a play like that on the road, on national TV. So for these guys to not just not turn back, not just not second guess themselves, but to be honest, I feel like they stepped up their intensity. After that play, Maryland defense stepped up. It didn't sink them. If anything, it motivated them. It pissed them off. That's what I'm trying to get to. And that's a very encouraging sign for this team because we're going to play better opponents who are going to do things to us on defense. What we have to do is respond, whether that would be the next play or the next possession or the next drives. We have to have the ability to have short-term memory on defense, offense, special team. Those are the teams that win in this league. Those are the teams that are consistent in college football. Teams that are capable of withstanding mistakes. Teams that are capable of overcoming their mistakes. Sometimes most teams lose games because of their mistakes. Maryland should have lost that game yesterday. To be honest with you, we should have lost that game. We made enough mistakes on the road that we haven't made all year at home that should have cost us a road Big Ten game. Illinois played as good as they could have played yesterday. And the stats showed it. I'm going to go over every stat and the pros and the cons of the game from our perspective, Maryland football perspective. For a diehard Maryland fan like me who don't just watch the game, but I watch the game within the game. I watch the sidelines, interactions. I'm the type of person, I watch in between plays with interactions, how guys pick each other up after they fuck up. Those are the things that matter. And yesterday, everything I saw on that field was something positive to build off of. Even the bad. Because there was a lot of bad. Let's discuss it, guys. Let's discuss it. First of all, we got to talk about the stats, all right? The stats of the game. I'm going to give you guys Illinois stats first, and I'm going to give you guys Maryland stats. And then I'm going to do a quick comparison of both team stats and how both stats came about, in my opinion. All right, guys? Let's start with the Illini. Illinois fighting Illini. They threw for 185 yards, and one touchdown, and one INT, no touchdowns. And they rushed for 150 for a total of 135 total yards of offense. They had, again, one turnover, which was the INT. Now, they fumbled the ball in the fourth quarter, but their guy picked it up. Our team, again, I'm going to talk about this. Our defense wasn't running to the ball. That's something you teach all through our summer camp, all through camps, run to the football. As we had a couple of guys running to the ball, one would have probably tackled that guy who recovered the fumble at the very worst, but there was a good chance we would have recovered that football because Ruben Hippolyte, another kid that I'm going to talk about later, because he had a horrible game. Ruben Hippolyte had a horrible game. Let's just be honest with you, all right? For somebody who follows X's and O's, he was horrible yesterday. He was horrible on a lot of plays. And had he been hustling on that play, he would have recovered that fumble. At the very worst, tackle the kid who recovered the fumble for Illinois. But the fact that he wasn't hustling and he assumed the play was down is why they will give up a touchdown. It's a chichi movement, and it's something the staff will really focus on film, because that's the type of stuff losing ball club do. That's not winners mentality. You have to run to the football, guys. We have to run to the football. We have to run to the football. Of all the plays I saw yesterday, that was the one play that I really thought that we look horrible, that the staff will not appreciate when they put on the film. There weren't many guys running to the football. Had we had many guys running to the football, that ball, the very worst, would have made the tackle after the Illinois player recovered the fumble that we caused. So, again, that's just a concern there. But they only had one turnover yesterday. That was the INT Nick Cross got right after a big-time momentum shift in the game, too, by the way. Nick Cross came fucking clutch. Right after they challenged the little fumble on Penny Boom. Another thing I'm going to talk about later on that I don't like. Our running backs. Handling the ball yesterday wasn't very good. But again, we win, guys. We win. And a lot of things to build off, all right? Again, now let's go back first downs. Illinois had 19 first downs. They had 7 punts. And time of possession 30 minutes and 51 seconds, which means they won that. So basically, that was one area Illinois had a chance. If they're going to win, they had to win the time of possession. And they did that. And they almost won. That was one of the areas that I said before the game, if they're going to win this game, they have to win the time of possession. They have to find a way to keep the offense on the field while keeping Maryland's high-powered offense off the field. And they did that, and it worked to a great extent, to be honest with you. That's the only reason why this ball game was close. They played to the crowd. Smart team. It's a very well-coached Illinois team, way better than I saw the last 2 weeks on their film. Like, I got to give credit where credit is due. Bill Emmer did a great job preparing those Illinois guys tonight. They fought. They competed on defense a lot better than I saw on film. Yeah, they competed like the way they competed last night against Maryland. They wouldn't have lost as bad as they did at UVA, and they definitely wouldn't have lost at UTSA. So again, it's a young team that's going up and down, but it's good that Maryland went in there on the road and win. There was no such thing as an ugly win in football. There's just win, and Maryland got one. All right, guys, big time. It took us to 3-0 and 1-0 in the conference in the Big Ten, which is massive because it's been a long time since we started 1-0 in the Big Ten. Don't forget that. Don't take that for granted, Top Nation. Don't take that for granted, all right? Now, okay, I've just read you Illinois stat. They were 8 for 17 on third down. That is just way too much. That's way too good of a third down conversion rate for any defense to be out there on the field too long. And I feel like that, more than anything, is why we give up that long touchdown run late. And also, part of it was also the fact that we didn't respond well to a sudden change of possession like that after that fumble by Fleet in the red zone, because they took the ball 93 yards. They got it from the 7-yard line. On their 7-yard line, they went 93 yards and scored to tie the ball game. So again, that was a very discouraging sign. I expected these guys to react better after sudden changes. Those what good teams do. That's what good teams do. They respond after sudden changes. So to see them come out there on defense and just look totally bummed out because of the fumble on offense, that cannot happen. You guys got to realize when you're out there after something like that, it means you have to play even more higher because you got to make sure that other team don't score. Those are big-time momentum movements in the game. All right? I feel like we lost that battle there. That sudden change of position, we didn't really respond well to that, to be honest with you, in that moment. We didn't have many of those in the game, but that one time we really needed this team to step up. We got them pinned in their 7-yard line. A quick stop there, we got the ball right back to our offense with a chance to do damage. So again, it wasn't a very encouraging sign there, but later on, this defense responded. And I will talk about it again, all right? But let's go first to the Maryland stats. Maryland threw for 350 yards to Alea, threw for 350, one touchdown, no INTs. Again, that's 3 straight games to start the year with no turnovers. Not just fumbles, not just INT, but he has 0 fumbles, 0 turnovers. He did a great, probably he played his best game in terms of staying in the pocket than he's played throughout the year. I feel like in the West Virginia game and Howard game, he had a tendency to leave the pocket a little too prematurely. You can't do that against better D-lines in the Big Ten. When your D-line is protecting you, you stay your ass in the pocket and deliver the ball. It's your best chance for success in this league. The minute you get out, you give these fast, twitchy Big Ten defenses really just to take shots at you. You don't want that, guys. You don't want that, Taulia. So it's good to see him tonight stay in the pocket. That's why he looks so much better in the pocket tonight, because he had to stay in the pocket, even sometimes do fake blitzes, because they didn't really blitz as much. They did not blitz as much. The few times they did, they gave up that 41-yard touchdown to Demons over the top. That could have tied the game, but got called back by a bogus ass penalty. Okay, so again, like, a lot of things to build up from this team. 350 yards passing, 131 yards rushing, for a total of 481 yards of total offense. We outgained them from 481 to 333 on total offense. We outpassed them 350 to 185. They only outrushed us 150 to 139. And I feel like most of that was because of our fumbling issues we were having, because we were moving the ball. We moved the ball all night. We just didn't get the third downs, which I'm going to talk about, because we were only 2 for 10 on that. That can't happen. That's been one of the bigger issues for this team so far that I've seen. One of the major red flags I've seen so far in 3 ball games. It's only 3 ball games, but there's trends starting to develop here. We've been horrible on third downs, and it's not like out of that 10 third down attempts, probably 3 or 4 of those were really like of long yardages. Most of those were on the 5. We just didn't get them. That can't happen. Now, I said in my previous videos, I like our chances going forward if we get a lot of those third and short. But I want to start seeing these guys convert them. At this point, it's time to start converting these guys, because those were the difference between us taking these guys completely out of the game and them getting confident to making this ball game what it became, a competitive fight to the end. Okay, so we had 6 punts. They had 7 punts. Again, we did better than them in that. They won the time of possession. Again, they had 30 minutes and 51 seconds. We had 29 minutes and 9 seconds. That was one of the keys for them to win the game, and they attacked that area. And they executed very well when they won the ball in terms of playing possession football. Okay? Maryland has 24 first downs. Again, we were moving the ball all night to their 19. We moved the ball all night, but we just shot ourselves in the foot with third down and mistakes. Mistakes that can't happen. Okay? We had 2 turnovers, 2 lost fumbles, our 2 first turnovers all season. We haven't had a 0 turnover. We haven't had no turnovers all season long in our first 2 games. But in this game, we had our first 2. And both of them were fumbles, and both of them came basically back-to-back possessions. Killers. When you have one fumble beforehand, as a backup, you coming in for that guy, you must absolutely double make sure you don't fumble the ball. But for that kid, Pennyboom, to fumble that ball in the very next play, he needs to realize that's a fucking loser mentality. You do that in the NFL, you will not see a field again. Because that's literally why you went in there, because the other guy fumbled. And you go back in there and you lay the ball on the ground. That cannot happen, bro. When that happened, I can feel many people saying this is the same Maryland team. Poorly coached, poorly executing, and guys making stupid, boneheaded plays on the field. And that was understandable if he was saying that at that point. So, but to see these guys respond later on in the game in the fourth quarter when it matters was really encouraging. But again, it's not a very good sign when you see guys fumbling the ball, especially Tayon Fleet. Like, dude, you're doing spin moves in traffic. That cannot happen. Spin moves 101, perfect. Because he put up a smooth ass spin move that led us to the game tying touchdown. At that moment on that area of the field, you can do shit like that because it's 1-on-1. But when you're in traffic, bro, you cannot be spinning around here with the ball all loose. So again, ball security is an area that this team has to focus on going forward, because there was some awareness situation I didn't like. Guys just being loose with the ball in traffic. That cannot happen, guys. This is Big Ten football. This is not high school. This is not the WCSC. This is not your high school league. Protect the football when you're spinning around in traffic, bro. No one want to see that, because that fumble almost sunk us. When literally we were growing in to put a foot up in this team's ass to go up by 14. Fumble it, they went the other way, tie again. Before you know it, it's a fight. That can't happen, man. Momentum shifts like that will cost us a game if that happened again with a better opponent. That cannot happen. Absolutely cannot happen. Especially in the red zone. You go over here spinning around in traffic, cover up the motherfucking rock, bro. Okay. So That's just the stats. Now I'm gonna give you guys some offensive standouts. These are the guys that I thought had a very good game, and were the reason why we were able to move the ball the way we did. First of all, Taulia was outstanding tonight. He did a great job of in the short area passing game, in that quick play action game, like right over the linebacker game. And he did an outstanding job yesterday because Illinois threw a lot of looks at us. Basically, what I told you guys, that teams are going to try to throw a lot of looks at us because our receivers are actual NFL talent. You cannot leave your DBs on the island with our receivers and think you're gonna win many of those battles. You asking to get lit up like West Virginia. You just cannot do it. Maryland got NFL dudes, and these dudes are serious about their business. There's some teams I watch around the country that have NFL personnel, but their guys don't go out there every week looking to whoop somebody's ass. Maryland receivers actually want to come out there and make a name for themselves every time they're on the field. So these guys are hungry to feed their families. You put a DB in there one-on-one, you asking him to get cooked all night. Illinois tried it a few times, and a few times they did, they give up a bomb. Every time they try to play us man up with no safety help, we burn their ass. Including that 41-yard touchdown to D. Mosley to tie the game that got called back on a bogus penalty. But again, that was one of the few times they actually tried to heat us up and we burnt them. No one can cover us in this league man on man. I don't see nobody in the Big Ten covering our receivers man to man. It won't be a smart option, I guarantee you. You're just going to see a lot of teams this year throwing a lot of mixed coverages at us. One, to confuse Taulia, because if that kid get comfortable, you in trouble. Because you saw in that fourth quarter, when you got in rhythm, late in that fourth quarter, we went right down the field and scored 10 points in the last 3 minutes to win the ball game. We struggled on offense yesterday. It wasn't because of Taulia. It was because of everything else around him. Guys not clicking, penalties, jumping off sides. Like, just those things are correctable, and they need to be corrected ASAP. Okay, Taulia played a great game. He was 32 for 43 for 351 touchdown, no INT. He took good care of the ball. Again, was outstanding and accurate in the short area passing game. You know what I'm saying? And the few times he took shot deep, he was accurate. He gave this guy a chance. That's what you want as a quarterback. We wouldn't complete all of those, but he gave our receivers a chance to get the ball. Right? Now, Fleet, I thought Tayon Fleet, even after the fumble, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the few standouts we had on offense. He's one of the standouts on offense. Because, again, he had 2 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 1 rushing, and he gave us the game-tying touchdown in the fourth quarter when he looked like he was playing angry after he came back after that fumble when he sat out for so long. I love seeing that in a senior that realized this is my last goal. My fumble almost cost us the game. You can see him on the sideline when they scored that touchdown to go up. You can see him because they brought. We went back on special team to receive the kick, and the camera went right to Tayon Fleet, and you can just see him talking to himself. Fuck. I think I just cost my team the game. I gotta make a play. So for him to make a play on that swing pass inside the 10-yard line, for him to make a guy miss, the minute he caught the ball, he already had moves in his mind. I've already said it, guys. Tayon Fleet is the best receiving back in the nation. I'll keep saying it. That guy is a wide receiver playing running back. I'm trying to tell you guys. Tayon Fleet is the best. He has the best hands, the best route running combination, the best run after the catch for a running back in the country. Flat out in the Big Ten. Big Ten has a lot of great natural runners, but not many good running backs that can catch the ball. Tayon Fleet is the best of them all. And he's going to be a matchup issue later on in the season when teams are going to have to drop so many guys back to protect the top of their defense. And Tayon can eat in that in-between swing routes and all that stuff. He's going to kill teams this year. I'm trying to tell you guys, he's going to kill teams. All right? I've said it from the beginning. He has one of the best hands in the country for a running back. He will prove it. That guy can catch the ball. I've seen him make a ridiculous one-hand catches since high school at Potomac. And he's been doing this his whole time at Maryland. He just hasn't been consistent. That's the key. The key is consistency and protecting the goddamn rock. You can't fumble the ball in the red zone, bro, as a senior. And he knows it because he came back in the game and he led us to the win. All right? He had 11 carries for 62 yards, 5.2 yards a carry, 5.6 yards a carry, and 1 touchdown. Again, most of those carries came early because he had like 7 carries in the first half, And then he got benched after that fumble for a while there, but he came back in and had like 2 late carries that he really showed out on. All right, he had 6 catches for 44 yards, 7.3 yards a catch, and 1 touchdown. Again, to me, he's the best pass catching running back in the nation. And remember that. Remember when I say that, because you're going to see a lot more of him catching the ball. God forbid he stays healthy, of course, all right? Inshallah. Now, so for total, Tayon Fleet yesterday he had 17 touches for 108 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's an outstanding football game from the running back. Outstanding football game. 2 touchdowns, 17 touches, 108 yards. Like, that type of production, if he keeps it up, man, it's going to be dangerous, man, on football offense, all right? Now, Dante Demas had 8 catches for 77 yards. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we could have went to him a little bit more early on in the game, especially in like early second half. But to be honest, Demas played outstanding. When we throw him the ball, he showed out, all right? Even that touchdown that got called back, he flat out smoked his man. Like, the dude has looked like the best receiver in the country to me. Flat out the best receiver in the Big Ten. To me, he remind me of Terrell Owens. When I watch Dante Demas, he remind me of a young Terrell Owens. Remember that comparison, guys, because you're going to hear him compared to T.O. a lot. Closer we get to the draft, you're going to hear a lot of fucking motherfuckers talk about Dante Demas Jr. is the next Terrell Owens. And he's actually faster than T.O. He's a little faster than Terrell Owens, and he's probably a better route runner than T.O. was at this point in their career. T.O. at this point in his career was more of a possession guy. Use my size to outmuscle dudes. Later on in his career, T.O. learned how to the little ins and outs of route running, and he became really, really special later on. People don't forget that T.O. got better later in his career than he was early. He was productive early, but he wasn't an NFL Pro Bowler until in 8-9 years in the NFL. So again, Dante Demas right now, for a guy his size, he's as good as a route runner there is in college football, and he's a hands catcher. One of the few Maryland receivers, even DJ Moore wasn't a hands catcher. DJ Moore hands got better in the NFL. In college, he was a body catcher, but this guy is a hands catcher. Demas tried his best to catch the ball with his hands, and guys like that have always been great NFL players, guys. This kid is going to be one of the best ones Maryland's developed in a long, long time. He's going to be even better than Stephon Diggs. Save this word. Save this. Dante Demas will be a more productive player than Stephon Diggs. Now, let's hope he goes to the right scheme, though, right offense. So, of course, in the National Football League. But he had 8 catches for 77 yards, 9.6 yards a catch. 1 touchdown got called back, like I said. But every time I watch him, when the ball comes to him, he whooped his man. That's what you want to see from a senior. This guy is clearly playing for the NFL draft. He's out here to prove he's an NFL player, a first-round pick. And he is working on his way up there, guys, because people are talking about Demas, man. And another guy who was good to see that I thought had an outstanding game on offense was Jayshawn Jones. Jayshawn Jones had an outstanding game in the slot. He was a killer. He killed Illinois in those run out to the catch. He killed them. A few times he caught like 3 yards ins. When you run a quick in, he caught it, and he made one guy miss and gained like 10, 15 yards after the catch. Like, those kind of plays are the ones that kill defenses, guys. When you have a defense worried about Demas and Raheem on the outside, and you have a guy like fucking Jayshawn Jones and another guy who I thought had a great game, Doral Jones, those two guys had outstanding games in the slot. Doral Jones is a bigger wide receiver. He can create mismatches in that slot area. And quite frankly, I've always been down on this kid because of his lack of going up and catching the ball. But maybe that might be the way we need to use him. Instead of using him on the outside, use him in the slot. Because for a bigger dude, he's really quick and twitchy. And you saw him last night going in and out of his routes runnings, in and out of his routes. And he looked really fluid doing it. And I was really impressed with the things Doral Jones was able to do in the slot yesterday. To me, he took over Brian Cobb's spot. Brian Cobbs hasn't shown out at all as a senior this year. Doral Jones should be that slot area with Jayshawn Jones going forward. All right. Jayshawn Jones was outstanding, 5 catches, 70 yards, including a huge late catch in the fourth quarter when we were going in for that tying touchdown. He basically caught the ball in like the 30, made like a couple of guys take it all the way down to about the 10. Outstanding play. On the very next play, Tayon Fleet scored on the touchdown on the swing by Taulia. So again, all that play was set up by Jayshawn Jones. The play right before that. Jayshawn Jones looked outstanding yesterday. It's as good as he's looked since his first game at Maryland against Texas when he passed and threw and run for a touchdown. This kid's look more like Jayshawn Jones we saw on that night. So basically, if this continues, Maryland's going to be a deadly scary team because people thinking we got 2 NFL receivers. In my belief, there's 4 to 5 NFL receivers in that room. Jayshawn Jones is one of them. Doral Jackson is one of them. And both of those guys had a great game yesterday to give defensive corners more to think about going forward. And I guarantee you, and nothing fun to think about. Now, again, I said Doral Jones had a great game. He had 5 catches for 66 yards, 13.2 yards a catch. And Doral was huge in the slot. Like I said, for a bigger dude, because Doral is like 6'2", 6'3", goes about 200 pounds, 210. The kid is big, all right? Now, one of the problems I've always had with him is going up and getting the ball because I feel like he waits for the ball to come to him too much. But in the slot, you don't got to worry about that. As long as you beat your man quickly, you just got to turn around and anticipate the ball coming to you. And yesterday, he had no problem beating his man in the slot. He was beating guys. He was whipping guys left and right. All right. A few times, Taulia trying to get him the ball, the passes got tipped. You know what I'm saying? Because the defense was just new. If we're not getting there, let's just trying to knock the ball down. So that's good defensive fucking keys there. But however, he was whooping his man all night. And again, Jayshawn Jones was outstanding. So yesterday, the slot area was a killer for Illinois because the way they were playing us, they were backing up as soon as the ball snapped. These niggas were running back, trying to cover up the top of their defense. But the slot and the intermediate areas were wide open. And once Maryland realized that after the first quarter, we were killing them in that slot intermediate passing game. And I'm gonna look for more of that with teams that want to drop way back. Keep killing them in the slot intermediate pass game, guys. All right? Now, Corey Dyches only had 2 catches for 18 yards, but both catches were massive because one of them came on second and long. That helped us give us a third and short. We ended up scoring a field goal in that drive. But Petrina ended up missing the field goal in that drive, a 32-yard field goal, and he ended up missing in that drive. But it was a huge catch on second and long by Corey Dyches. Corey Dyches you're going to keep seeing this kid shine, a redshirt freshman from Potomac High School. So you're going to see this kid shine even more and more with time going because to me, he's the best pure natural pass catcher tight end that we have right now. He's the best pure natural pass catchers, all right? Okonkwo is a dog. He's an NFL dog, all right? However, his catching ability is not purely, he just looks fluid when Dyches do it. When you run routes, he just looks natural doing it, right? For ex-basketball player, this kid is going to get so much better with more playing time. So it's good to see him play now because by the end of the year, he's going to look so much better when he's trying to figure out the tight end position and where he can get open, what areas of the field he can get open because he has hands. If it hits his hands, Dyches is going to catch it. Okay? So, yeah, and Raheem Jarrett. I thought Raheem Jarrett had a great game in the offense. He had 4 catches for 70 yards, 17.5 yards a catch. He had no touchdown, but he was blanketed all night long. Like I'm trying to tell you guys, in the slot, go look at the film. Every time there was a kid down, Illinois basically sent 2-3 guys to Raheem. The few times they didn't, we burnt them. So again, in that slot area, if it's a third down or a kid down, Raheem Jarrett is going to get double going forward because he's absolutely a deadly route runner. The few times I left him man-on-man, he absolutely destroyed his man. Like, he dragged the motherfucker. That's how much he destroyed this man. In his route running game is absolutely elite. For a young guy, he can run route as good as anybody I've seen in college football. He's outstanding. His understanding of space and timing in route running is absolutely ridiculous. Like, don't give Raheem Jarrett space when he's running route because he's going to make you look stupid. All right? Now, it's 4 catches, 70 yards. Didn't have a touchdown yesterday because, again, the defense was rolling to him and Dimas the whole fucking game. That's why guys like Jayshawn Jones and Doral Jones were eating in the middle. All right? Now, defensive standouts. I've already talked for almost 30 minutes. I need to hurry up and keep this next one like 10 minutes. Defensive standouts, Nick Cross. Nick Cross got 7 total tackles, 4 solo tackles, including one when he came down early in the game in the first quarter and made a massive hit on their most explosive playmaker. Basically, the dude he hit Span is number 3. That dude, this year, he had like 6 catches, and 3 of them were touchdowns. So he is basically their bomb threat. When he comes in, you got to anticipate a bomb. So I'm sure Maryland anticipated a bomb, but for Nick Cross, to come to click and react that quickly, and not just react quickly, but to come in there with the reckless and absolutely mean demeanor he came down on that play. When that receiver caught that ball in the 5 yard in, he made a catch. He getting the first down on the 3rd and 7. He getting like 9. But man, that kid did not run an inside route the rest of the game. I watched him the whole game. That guy did not run another route in the inside the rest of the game when Nick Cross got hold of him. I'm talking about Nick almost shred that kid in half. Like, he hit him so hard. That, bro, Nick had a couple of hits yesterday that were, this guy's an NFL hitter now. Okay? Like, you guys got to understand, Nick Cross is an NFL hitter now. When Nick Cross hits you, you feel it. Like, this kid is an NFL, straight up NFL hitter at safety. He knows how to deliver blows. And that's the difference. And some guys, they're capable of hitting you hard, but somehow you just rarely ever see them make a big hit in the game. Nick Cross is the type of dude, he's just not capable of hitting you hard, but it seems like you always get 1 or 2 of those every game. So he knows how to target the right areas in the body. He's a great tackler, folks. That's what I'm trying to get to. Nick Cross is a great, great fucking tackler as a DB. Okay? Now, yesterday, again, he had 7 total tackles, 4 solo and 3 assisted. He had 1 INT that basically he returned all the way to the 50-yard line in the midfield. But Maryland, stupidly, again, another red flag that I don't like, penalties, had 2 guys, block guys in the back when literally all they had to do was just stand the fuck right there. Neither guys would have made a play on their cross. Just stand the fuck right there. Don't move, bro. So that's just frustrating penalties, bro. That one penalty cost us about 40 yards in field position. So if you get the ball at the 50, we end up getting the ball at the 10. We punt. Of course, that's what happened. We punt in that position. So, like, bad field position all most of the game, that game. So it's like there's a lot of things this team can clean up. But Nick Cross, outstanding football player. His stock is going. I just hope he doesn't rise too far, because right now he's about a 3rd to a 5th round range. If he keeps going up, that guy's gonna be gone. He's gonna be out of Maryland this year, Nick Cross. So let's hope not. Now, we do have younger guys that played yesterday too that I like the Miller kid, number 38 from Florida. I like him a lot for future safety in Maryland. And Bear Brady, he made a massive hit on Isaiah Williams that basically took Isaiah Williams out of the game. They didn't give him the ball. I feel like he was a decoy the rest of the game. They tried not to give him the ball. Maryland was hitting yesterday. I got to make sure I put that out there now. The Terps were hitting. They were striking yesterday. Like, we might have missed some tackles, but we laid some massive hit on those Illini ball carriers yesterday. We knocked out about 3-4 players yesterday in that game. We were really fucking them up. Like, it was good to see, because that's what recruiting has done. That's one of the advantages I thought we've gotten better at. We have more powerful dudes on defense. I'm talking about dudes that when they get their hands on you, you're gonna feel it. They're mean, they're a little bit more mean dudes. We have a bunch of mean cats on defense. Now, we're young. We got to get better. There's a lot of mistakes we made in the game that we got to get cleaned up, especially at the linebacker position. I will get to that, all right? Now, Nick Cross had a great game. He was basically all over the field all night, Nick Cross. Outstanding play, outstanding tackler again. Last man on defense. His stock is going up. Walk-on Greg Groves had his best game at University of Maryland. Probably was the difference maker in the game in that 4th quarter, because he is 2 sacks in that position right before we got the ball and go kick the field goal to win it. What a difference, because Illinois was moving. They were moving. And then he sacked them at the 50-yard line, take them out of position, take them from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 25, 2nd and 21, 11-yard sack. And then on 3rd down, he sacked them again to make it 4th and 30-something. So again, Greg Rose had his greatest game at Maryland. Mind you, he really didn't start this game early, and because of injury to Nasili Kid, that he probably played as much as he did. But the way he played yesterday, he's going to take some guys playing time going forward. Greg Rose had an outstanding game. To me, when I watch him, he's not really a big dude, but he's extremely quick, and he fights. He fights, and he's good with his hands. Again, as a D-lineman, as Aaron Donald has proven in the NFL, size don't matter if you have the hands to keep guys off of you. And that's what Aaron Donald has mastered. A lot of other guys in the league are starting to take Aaron Donald's a lot of his moves in his repertoire, to add it into their repertoire. That's one of the things I saw Greg Rose do yesterday. He was unblockable. They could not block him. All right, he was quick. He had his hands. He was just smacking dudes everywhere. They could not block him. And I wish that technique I would see that more in our bigger guys like Emi Fanau. That's one of his problems I had with him. He can't get off block sometimes. Like, use your hands a little bit more, dude. You're strong. You're big. If you use your hands a little bit more, Emi Fanau, you're gonna have an easier time in the line. All right. But Greg Rose, outstanding game. 2 tackles, 1 assisted, 3 total tackles, 2 sacks. 2 sacks. All right. Defensive standouts again. Sam Okoyonu, Sam Okwayonunu, Sam Okwayonunu. He had 3 tackles, 3 assisted tackles for a total of 6 tackles, 3 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles, total of 6 tackles. He also had 2 sacks. So yesterday we had 3 guys that had 2 sacks each. It was one of them was Greg Rose. We had those 2 big sacks late, probably the 2 biggest sacks in the game. And then Sam Okoyonunu, he had 2 sacks himself. Now leads the Big Ten with 4 sacks on the season. And then you have Doral Jackson, who had his first 2 sacks of the season this game. So now he has 2 sacks. Doral Jackson had an outstanding game, by the way. We've always known Doral had the talent, but he was never healthy. So hopefully this is a sign of things to come, because Doral is a good pass rusher. He's a good natural pass rusher that we've always had. Probably the best one we've had for the last few years, but he's always been healthy. So I'm hoping he stays healthy this year and he can put it on film, because talent-wise, he has NFL ability to rush the passer. All right? He just needs to stay healthy. Let's knock on wood. He plays a whole full season this year and put it on film, because his film is looking outstanding. Like yesterday, Sam Okoyonunu, he's having an outstanding grad season, and if he keep it up, he's an NFL person. He's gonna be in the league soon. All right, guys, there's just no doubt about it. Sam, the way he's playing right now, if he keeps it up, he's gonna be in the NFL. He's been dominant the first 3 games of the season. Again, he leads the Big Ten right now about 4.5 sacks on the season. Outstanding start to the season in 3 ball games. Like, I want to see more of this from Sam, number 97. More of this, all right? Now, Doral Jackson, I said he had a great game. He had 2 sacks as well. And another young guy that I thought had a great game, especially after Emi Fanau went down with cramps, or he kept going down with injury, was true freshman Doral Jackson. Like, this kid just started playing football 2-3 years ago. He's still new, but he's getting bigger. When we started recording him in high school as a senior, he was 6'5". He was 6'6", about 240. When we started recording him, 6'6", 220. This kid now is 6'6", 295, almost 300-pounder. And mind you, he can get bigger. Like, I've heard people in the staff saying he's going to be about 315 when it's all said and done as a down D lineman. And it's going to be nasty, because Doral Jackson is so fucking strong for a true freshman. The kid is so fucking impressive for a true freshman when you look at him. And that physique is starting to translate on the football field, because he's still learning the game. The more he catch up to the game with his athletic ability, he's going to be a fucking monster for us, all right? Now, again, Doral Jackson, true freshman from Florida, number 92. Outstanding game in the middle for us. He helped us really stop that run late in the 4th quarter. Illinois is going to run the ball late because they tried to run the ball on us all game. But that 4th quarter, they couldn't run it after we realized, okay, we can lose this game if we don't stop them. After that fumble, when they recovered that fumble, they took it to the house, all right? Okay, Jordan Mosley, I thought he had a great game. 3 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles for 6 tackles. He caused 1 fumble, but again, the fumble he caused was very costly to us, because their guy ended up picking it up and scoring a touchdown. That guy's been hustling on that play. He would have made a great play. He still made a great play for causing a fumble. I just hope our guys would have been hustling on that play, all right? So again, Jordan Mosley to me was one of the standout. Now, on that long touchdown run, he took a poor angle to the ball carrier, and he did come up high on him, a bigger Illinois running back that took it to the house. So again, that's the type of stuff I don't want to see from my DBs. There was a lot of poor angles yesterday taken and tackled. There was poor tackling technique I saw yesterday, especially in the trenches. Like, a lot of the Illinois runs that they break open were just poor front 7 play. We had everybody. We had the right guys in the right gap. Guys just didn't bring it. They just didn't tackle. So that's concerning, because we got better running backs, better running attacks coming up. Now, Illinois last season in the Big Ten were 3rd in rushing offense, and they do have 2 linemen that are top 5 NFL draft, top 5 rounds NFL projected draft picks. I'm talking about kids that are going to be in the 3rd or 5th round NFL draft picks. So that Kramer dude and their left guard. So those are 2. They have 2 outstanding guards. All right. So Maryland went up against a very competent offensive line. because these guys were third last year in the rushing yards in the Big Ten. So Illinois had no slouches in the trenches. But again, it was concerning to see that we couldn't get off blocks when we were in the right gaps, and they ungapped us. Like, I don't even understand. I gotta watch more of the film. Like, I really thought we were just trying to tackle their running backs with arms. Like, we didn't really bring our feet in tackles a lot yesterday in the front seven. I did not like it at all. I thought our linebackers played the worst game they've played all season. I thought Ruben Hippolyte looked horrible. There was a lot of mixed first steps. And when you're playing linebacker in the Big Ten against running teams, you cannot take that first step is very massive. You cannot take the wrong mixed step, because a mixed step will give that offensive lineman the right angle to deplete your ass on the run block. And that happened a lot with our young linebackers yesterday. They were just taking too many poor missteps when literally the first step I want to see you take as a young linebacker is towards the line of scrimmage. Everything else I can walk around it, but you show me aggression when the ball is snapped. I felt like too many times yesterday the Illinois offensive line caught our guys just in the middle of nowhere. They didn't make a move, pick a spot and make a move and go 100%. I don't care if you pick the wrong hole. As long as you're going 100%, you're going to force somebody to have to block you. But a lot of the runs that Illinois had yesterday, especially the bigger runs, we just got out of our gaps or we just didn't tackle. So very concerning, but there's nothing that we can't fix. But I really, really hope we hone in on those type of things along with the fumbling going forward, because those things can cost us games against good teams, all right? And we got a bunch of good teams coming up after Kent State next week. Kent State is also a very good team last year. They won like 9-10 games last year. They returned many of their players. They have a good quarterback. So Kent State won't be in no slots for us now. Kent State going to give us a ball game. But that Kent State team got Illinois. They play at Illinois today. So we're going to learn a lot about Illinois. Our next two opponents, they play each other today. We're going to learn about Illinois, and we're going to learn a lot about Kent State after that game tonight. I'm going to keep you guys posted on the preview for Kent State coming up this week, all right? How that game went. Now, Jacoya Bennett, I thought had a, these are the guys, bright spot. I said Jordan Mosley, Sam, okay, Doral. Now, Jayshawn Johnson, the true freshman defensive lineman, D-tackle, played a lot yesterday, especially in the second half because of Emmett Finale again going in and out of injury, and Mason Nasili Kit. So a lot of our young D linemen played a lot yesterday. Demoyne Robinson, the kid from Queens Archo, played a lot himself. So again, there was many signs of youth development going on here in the staff. A lot of our young guys getting their feet wet early in games like this will pay huge dividends later on. I've always said it. We have a lot of young, talented front seven guys. They just need to get their feet well. Even games like this will be a lot. Ruben Hippolyte and Brandon Jennings will be a lot better because of a game like this, because they're going to realize there's poor angles, poor steps won't work well in this league, because you're going to absolutely give offensive linemen the angles to deplete your ass, and these guys will deplete your ass. Okay. Last night they got a couple of those runs by Illinois. Illinois offensive linemen just mauled us. They mauled our linebackers, because they were just stuck in no man's land. Like, make a move. All right? So, again, I saw a lot of young guys play yesterday. Dontre Trader Jr. and Corey Cooley Jr., two DBs, young DBs, two freshman DBs that have bright futures at Maryland. Both of them were in the field late in the game in the fourth quarter. When the staff needed to stop, those guys were in the field. That's a great sign and shows how much the staff trusts these guys at such a young age to be out there when the team needed to stop in the fourth quarter. All right? Those are all things I pay attention to. Dontre Trader Jr. and Corey Cooley Jr. being in the game late in the fourth quarter when you need to stop. Those are things you pay attention to early in the season. It shows you how much the staff likes them and how much work and how they go about their business. That's younger guys. Because it ain't easy being a true freshman, being in the game in key times. All right? Now, duds, the guys that I thought had a shitty-ass game, horrible fucking game. These guys here, thank God we win despite these motherfuckers. All right? I got to start with number one, Mason Lunsford. Left guard, Mason Lunsford. Every time a pressure was allowed, because of Mason Lunsford. There was one time, Mason basically, instead of leaving to go help, because there was nobody, he was, because Illinois was sending three a lot last night. They were sending three guys a lot, dropping about 7, 8 guys in coverage. So when you send three, that means you got about 4 or 5 guys to block them. At some point, one of those linemen ain't going to have nobody to block. That guy has to be the guy, the roamer. You have to roam around and see which one of the other linemen need help. And that's where they got Mason Lunsford yesterday. His youth as a starter on the offensive line showed out yesterday. And you're going to start seeing a lot of teams target that. He needs to really hone in on that film this week, Mason Lunsford. You have to hone in on that film. Because good coaches will scheme for your issues that I saw yesterday on film. All right? 3 guys were rushing. Your ass was standing there idle. Instead, you go help the guy who has 2 guys on him. So you had 3 linemen blocking 1 guy. And then you have isolation blocks on the outside. Absolutely cannot fucking happen. Mason Lunsford. You see 2 guys already engaged in 1 motherfucker. Why would you go be a 3rd there, motherfucker? You stupid motherfucker. Bro, that's the type of shit, bro, that annoys me. As a guy who coached this sport, that annoys me. What common sense, what makes you think that's the right idea? And first of all, the fact that he did it and kept doing it was the most annoying part. Because as soon as he turned around, Jalen Duncan got beat. And we got sacked on a 3-man rush. Those dunks would annoy the shit out of me. Because if opposing team see they can get pressure with 3, why the fuck would they ever send more? So again, we got to be able to solve those kind of issues, man. When there's 10-3 guys, you have to maul them. When we start mauling those 3-man fronts, teams will get away from them. I watch Bama all the time. When teams want to rush 3, man, the Alabama, bro, I love watching Alabama O-line. They'll destroy motherfuckers. You want to challenge us with less bodies? We maul these motherfuckers. We will double team them and fuck them up. You'll find all 3 of these bitches on the ground. That's what Maryland should have did yesterday, some of those double teams. Don't play with this niggas. You maul these motherfuckers. But they will get better. I remind you guys, our line is still, many of the guys on the line was the first year starter. Mason Lunsford is his first year starter. He's going to get a lot better. I really like this kid. He had some outstanding blocks yesterday, even though he had some big time fuck ups. But most of those were just mental and youth and lack of experience. He'll get better. He'll learn that as on those kind of fronts, you have to look for somebody to block. Can't stand idle, bro. All right? And definitely they're going to block a guy who got 2 guys on him. All right? And linebackers, I say linebackers were horrible yesterday. Again, Hibon Hippolyte was horrible. Brandon Jennings was horrible. Ahmad McCullough was horrible. Like, all our linebackers yesterday was terrible. They had numerous times they failed to cover the running back on 3rd down, especially on key downs. Like, that cannot happen. Illinois threw for 185 yards. About 90 to 100 yards of those were to their running backs. And each of those yards were massive and costly to us because they came in key down. So I don't understand. When you play man-to-man, all right, somebody has to have the running back. So for the running back to be wide open on some of those swing passes, really some of them were just dump-offs that they took big gain, was just simply lack of assignment football. Like, when you have DBs covering man-to-man, your linebackers cannot be slow, guys. They cannot be retarded. That's literally what it was. That was retarded mental lapse. Your linebackers cannot be retarded. We are a man-to-man team 90% of the time. So our linebackers got to be on it, guys, or we're going to give up big-time plays against some of the teams we have. Now, Illinois don't have a magic fast guy on running back, but this next team is going to play, they have a jet at running back. So we have to be very, very better at 3rd down and key down, knowing who the fuck got the running back. It happens against West Virginia week 1, where Lady Brown went off early, and we figured it out. But again, yesterday, too many times we leave the running back wide open, or the guy coming out of the backfield wide open. That cannot happen, guys. That needs to get short up, and I'm sure it will. This is something the staff will really zone in on. Like, guys, on 3rd down, what good does it do getting a team to a 3rd and long if you're going to fucking have a blown coverage to a running back? So again, like, I feel like that's all the linebackers' fault. Like, communication with linebackers yesterday was horrible. Their angle was horrible. They took a lot of poor steps, okay? They didn't tackle well. And don't even get me started on their coverage, because a lot of times, another thing I saw yesterday, now, Illinois didn't attack. But one time, they had a running back swinging out the backfield, and Ruben Hippolyte was way late to recognize it and go with him. And they had a big play. Peter saw it. Now, he was looking for Isaiah Williams on the left side, and he was being bracketed well to him still. We had an iffy game as well. But At Peters saw that running back, that was a touchdown. So again, I feel like the West Virginia game, he did the same thing. Was later recognized Lee Brown coming out of the backfield on a swing play, and thank God the ref didn't call a PI on that play in week 1. But Robert Hippolyte's gotta be better. Like playing linebacker is just more than physical, guys. You have to be a thinker. You have to know process shit before the game. Who is my man, and how can I make sure that he doesn't have a better leverage on me? Like leverage. That's another word Maryland got to really focus on this week. Leverage. There was a lot of poor leverage yesterday going on. Poor handle tackling. Jayshawn Bennett, another kid that I thought played a horrible game yesterday. Terrible effort on tackling effort yesterday. On that long run, he was terrible. He was the first guy there. Had he come in and go low and wrap the guy up, that was a 3-yard run. Instead, he ended up being a 38-yard touchdown for a true freshman running back for Illinois. That can't happen. You're a senior, wrap up. Okay? Jayshawn Bennett was horrible yesterday in tackling department. He was okay in the coverage, but he was horrible in tackling. That has to get better because we're a man-to-man team. Our DB's got to help out in tackling. Okay. Now, yeah. That's basically, yeah, those are the duds. Okay. Now, red flags. I would have mentioned the guys who I thought had a horrible game. Oh, that. Another dud. Field goal kicker, Petrino. Petrino is sorry. Like, our kicker is ass. You cannot make a 31-yard or 32-yarder in major college football. You are ass. And I've had it, man. I've had it with this kid. Forget the game-winning kick. If he missed that, dude, we would have burned that kid alive, bro. If you would have missed that fucking kick, not only would I have fucking won Loxley's head for keep sending him back out there, but I would have burned that motherfucker alive. You cannot miss 32 yards, bro. You cannot. Bro, you cannot fucking miss 32 yards, bro. Petrino, you cannot fucking do it, bro. You cannot. A fucking inconsistent as fuck senior, bro. 4 years of this shit, man. I'm sick of it, bro. This kid is a fucking heartache waiting to happen. Every time he kick, bro, my balls will go cold. Even when he makes it. Like, no, it's not a good feeling, bro, when that kid is about to kick. I don't enjoy it at all. Fucking inconsistent as fuck. Always give us short kickoffs. Like, what's the point of us playing this kid, bro? Like, Maryland got to figure this shit out. The kicker, Petrino, ain't good. He's not good. I'm glad he made that game winner, or he better. You missed a 32-yarder twice in the game, and you cost us a game at Illinois, boy, we will have your fucking head on the platter, kid. Fuck. Bum-ass kicker, bro. All right. Now, red flags. Third down, offense and defense. I told you guys, that's one of the red flags I've noticed with us. We've been bad on third down on offense. We were 2 for 10 yesterday. Probably for the year, we're probably less than 40% on third down. That can't happen. We got to be better than that. And most of those third downs that we're not getting are third and less than 5. Like I said, I like our chances going forward if we keep getting those. But at some point, we got to start converting those motherfuckers now. Okay. Now, third down, we was 2 for 10. We gave up 8 for 17 on third down, over 50%. That kept them in the game. And some of those that would get off the field, this Maryland offense would have been able to do more damage. So again, defense, you got to be able to get off the field, man. That's one of the issues we've had the last previous years. And a couple of those I got to mention were penalties. We had 4 first down yesterday we gave them due to penalties. So they were, what, 8 for 17? So really they were 4 for 17 if it wasn't for those 4 penalties. That cannot happen. We can't give free first downs, bro. This is the Big Ten. On a road game, you cannot give free first downs. Make teams earn it and make them go the long way. We do that more often, we're going to be a lot more successful going forward. Make teams drive the long field on special team, and then on defense, don't give them easy. Don't give them easy first downs by committing penalties that result in first downs. Those are killers. Those are killers. Okay? Lack of covering the back out of the backfield. Again, that's another red flag. We've done that a lot. We did it against Howard. We did it against West Virginia. And we did it against, Illinois. Something got to figure out about the defensive coordinator. When we out there man-to-man, who got the running back? And that guy messed up one time, bring his ass in the fucking bench and put his ass so far up that fucking bench that his ass gets stuck there. Motherfucker. Stop leaving the running backs open, bro. Especially on third downs, bro. That shit is killing us this year. We're doing a great job covering receivers, but then the running backs are killing us. Gotta be fucking better, man. Okay? Tackling was horrible yesterday. Poor handling. Missed first steps. When you want to tackle, your first step it's massive, especially in the trenches. The first step in the trenches as a linebacker and D lineman is massive. You took a poor first step. That could be the angle offensive linemen need to get a better angle on you on their block. And that could be the difference between setting a block and you getting pounded 10 yards down the field. So again, our young linebackers got to learn. Your first step matters when you're playing this position, bro. Especially with the bigger offensive line we're about to keep facing, the better offensive line groups we will be facing coming up. We have to learn angles and not allow guys, offensive linemen, get better angles on us. Because once they get the leverage, we will get finished because our linebackers ain't big enough. We're quick, we're fast, but we're not really massive. So again, we got to get better at that. Tackling and fumbles. Of course, we had 2 lost fumbles. Our first turnovers of this year were both fumbles. First 2 turnovers. That cannot happen. One of those was very costly. Had a chance to go up and put our foot in their ass, go up by 14 with fumble. They went the other way, tie ball game. Now it's a fight. Like little things like that, usually momentum strips. We can't have that. And then we force a fumble. Instead of hustling to get the ball, guys weren't hustling on defense. That guy recovered it, returning for a touchdown. Even when we made a great play, because of our lack of effort, they gained from it. It was at that point I thought they won the game. I thought, man, everything was going their way. So it was very good effort and resilient effort to see this guy still win this game. 99.9% of Maryland teams the last 7 years lost that ball game. They lost that ball game, especially after that play. They check out. This team, if anything, I saw these guys fight even more. The intensity go up even higher. The execution even got better after that play. That's great time coming up, man, for things to come for this Maryland team. And a great coach team. I love the second half adjustment from the first half. Once we figured out what Illinois was doing to us, we had no problem moving the ball. We just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. So clean that up, okay? Again, the kicker Pacino ain't it. That's one of the red flags I have. That kid ain't it, man. If you cannot make consistently make field goals less than 45 yards in the Big Ten, you are not a fucking Big Ten kicker. Let alone, I don't even think he's any Power 5 kicker. Period. This kid is ass. I want to see Harrison Beatty in there, the former #1 overall ranked recruit as a kicker who went to Oregon, didn't play, and transferred back to UMD. I want to see Harrison Beatty out there practicing this week. Like there needs to be a legit kicking competition going forward. Pacino give me anxiety. I can't do it. Every time he's in the game, my balls freeze, bro. I'm nervous as a motherfucker. Like, I really thought he was going to miss that game-winning kick. That's how useless this kid has been in Maryland. He's always been useless. Fuck. Okay. Now, penalties. Again, yesterday, four times our defense gave them first downs because of penalties. We had a total of about 10 penalties yesterday. Most of those were in the dumb variety, jumping off sides. We had like 3 of those. Again, the same issue keep popping up. So week 1, we had like 3 of those. Week 2, we had like 3 of those. And now we had 3 of those. At some point, this coaching staff got to tell those guys lining up, like, stop fucking jumping outside, bro. It's just that simple. And I hear Locke say post-game, if guys don't start fixing those things, those are the type of things you could start changing personnel. It's about time, man. At some point, get these guys who will keep doing the same mistake out the fucking ball game, bro. If you ain't going to be playing clean football, don't play at all. You ain't playing. Okay. So, yeah, return game. Again, another concern I have is the return game. Tahib still, as literally, Tahib still ain't it. He hasn't given us anything in the return game, and we need better playmaking in that return game. There were times yesterday I thought he had chances to catch the ball and return it, and he called fair catch. He ain't it. I don't know if he's scared. I don't know, maybe the fact that he's had a couple of fumbles. Now, he recovered both of them, but a couple of fumbles trying to get to him. But that's a position where if you're thinking, you ain't doing. So again, it's time for these guys to still go on the bench. I want to see like a Jayshawn Jones out there. I even want to see a guy like Brian Cobbs out there, since he ain't doing much on offense. Throw him out there on special teams, see what he can do. Because Cobbs got great hands anyways. All right. I would love to see him again. Still yesterday he had 2 returns for -7 yards. That motherfucking can't happen. Like, dudes, when you catch the ball, go forward. You can't go backwards. So again, I don't think he's very good as a returner. And quite frankly, he's looked kind of iffy with those fumbles. I don't like it at all. It's about time we get him out of there and get somebody in there that's quick and twitchy. Even Marcus Fleming, As yesterday, he had one catch, but it was a horrible play call with throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage when a guy was standing right next to him. And of course, he got tackled for a 6-yard loss. So his first catch at Maryland was a 6-yard loss. But you're going to hear a lot more about that kid, Marcus Fleming, the transfer from Nebraska, who was an outstanding player at American Plantation in Florida. Okay? Big time recruit, big time get for Maryland to get him in the transfer portal. So that's the type of kid I want to see in special team. Or maybe the staff don't trust him just yet with catching. So let's see, because this staff know a lot better than I do with this kids. But I would like to see a guy like Marcus Fleming get a shot, returning kicks, or even a Brian Cobbs. All right. But guys, that's my breakdown. A whole hour, way longer than I wanted. But hey, it's big.